Fucked it so long, I'm finally sober. To the edge, I've been drawing closer. Lately I'm a loner, a stoner, a loser. You're a fucking poser, alone, life for no one. Love to act so talented, reality you got none. I don't like to talk much, I'm honest, you just crave attention, that clown life is dog shit. Yeah, I really wanna fade away. Nothing really matters in the end when we fade away. Fade away, all that I will wreck. I just wanna find a way to make you stay, to make you stay. I just wanna levitate, don't hesitate to make you wait. I just wanna fuck you till my bones and blood disintegrate. I just wanna touch you, feel your body right next to me. I just wanna love you, wanna fuck you, wanna levitate. Levitate, I'll levitate. No matter what life decides, it's gonna come my way. I'll levitate, all damn night I'll stay awake. Spill my fucking guts and everything I've got all on the page. Lost my best friend, fuck that, it's over. So many moments, never found their closure. Alone, lazy fucking stoner. Lately I've been thinking this was destined to be over. You're a fucking pussy, so sick listening to groaning. Bad damn time you man up to mistakes, not time you own them. I've been feeling lonesome, alone, and so homesick. Driving home, reflecting past 3 months, that shit was toxic. You know I miss the cold, I hate the summertime. I am the king of wasting time, and I feel bad about it. Lately I don't feel blue, no longer doom and gloom. Beautiful flower, I bloom, found my way out of my tomb. Never could have guessed that the worst things I have ever faced will leave me standing tall today. My spirit instead. Never could have guessed that the first time that I saw her face, I would wake up at her place. The goddamn smile on my face, lately I'm doing good. Not likely that I'll ever get my shit together. Half my life I felt like I was under the weather. All my future endeavors I fought from dawn. Getting fucked up in the train tracks, never wanna take those days back. Barely ever slept back then, that's the thing, nothing's changed. I know, I was young, I was living my life like a goddamn idiot. Started shit and we finished it, at least I live my life with style. I no longer feel so proud. I feel on fire again. I just got sick of the lose, so I decided to grow. Yeah, I decided to grow. I just got sick of the lose, so I decided.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Glad to see a nice crowd here. Looks like we did have some movement in the market. Probably why we have such a large crowd. Wanted to talk about a couple things. First things first. No, this crash is not entirely due to FTX. There is a massive credit bubble in the economy that we've been talking about for half a year. And eventually it's going to pop, and you're going to see all these companies that have either cooked their books or, and you know, crypto is a volatile asset. It's going to lead first. But there are companies that have cooked their books. There are companies that owe money to banks. There are companies that aren't paying back their loans. And the whole system's going to crash. And you're seeing it firsthand, obviously, with FTX. But this isn't just FTX. Okay, yes, FTX is selling a coin that was, you know, helping boost the value of Bitcoin. But if people were really buying Bitcoin, which I had heard from multiple people all over the place, even in my Discord, that this whole zone was accumulation. If this is accumulation, this breakdown wouldn't have happened. So I don't want to hear any more accumulation crap. We've provided a lot of different metrics on why this isn't accumulation, why this is distribution, and you're seeing it firsthand. I mean, this entire downward movement since November 11th or whatever, November 9th, has been the utmost predictable downward or downtrend we've ever seen, with absolutely no signs of accumulation, no signs of reversal, no signs of bullishness. I am probably the only analyst aside from Crypto Savvy that's been bearish this entire time without any change in bias. So thank you for sticking around. I hope it's paid off. In the meantime, what up, Daniel? I'm glad you were first, brother. Always nice to see you. Where do I think the end of the falling knife is? Don't try to catch a falling knife. What's up, yes sir? How's it going? Yo, I think Shebley. There's a timer on the top right for the intro. Yo, what up, O? Yeah, we might have to change up the intro just to make it a little fancier. I'll have to talk to you about that if you got some free time. I know you've been busy with a lot of stuff recently. Happy Bloodbath Day. Happy Bloodbath Day. Mass layoffs. Yeah, have you seen the stock market? It's literally crashing. XO is one of the true analysts as well, I guess. I think he's more of a scalper. Roman, why aren't alts dumping? Dude, are you blind? Like, are you actually blind? Dude, what alts aren't dumping? Like, most alts are down 20%. What are you talking about? Cell is down 37%. Matic's down 25%. Ethereum's down 17%. One is down 25%. Like, what are you talking about? You shorted all the way. Good job, man. Where do I store my crypto? All over the place. All over the place. All right, well, we're going to get into stocks first. It's been about a week, I believe, since I've live streamed, so always nice to get a little TA update. So, first things first, we've talked about this zone being a daily resistance level, even a weekly resistance level. Lots of confluence here. Our relief bounce, rejected resistance, is now heading lower. If we follow the 2008 fractal, I'm going to open this up for some of my people that were not here earlier in the live streams, but if you follow the 2008 fractal, it is absurd how similar this is. Absurd. I'm not a big fractal person, but it's always good to keep that measurement. So what you're seeing right now, and I'm going to delete this just for reference to keep it very clean for all of you guys. What you're seeing right now is this playing out. This whole before the crash. I had said many times that after midterms, we are more than likely going to crash across stocks, across all assets, because one, obviously tactics, the Democrats really think they're going to lose. Even if they don't lose, they thought they were going to lose. Like, there's no way. How can you be a politician and not have any kind of tactic to say, okay, we might lose this because we have a president that falls asleep in the middle of interviews. It's not a good look. the only issue we can argue for is abortion, or talk about abortion, which they don't talk about anything other than abortion. It's like, no matter what your opinion on abortion is, there are bigger problems right now than abortion. But anyways, I had figured they just lose, landslide loss, and it's turning out that it's not a landslide loss. It's actually a lot closer. However, still anticipating a crash, like a very, very harsh crash, which we're very much seeing. We saw these 3 descending peaks. On the 3rd peak, we get that relief rally, back into resistance, into a crash. Relief rally, back into resistance, now we crash. Obviously, my target is somewhere in the 26 to 3,000 box. Wherever we land, that's where I would begin my DCA, but ultimately, that investment is up to you guys to decide. That also follows our generic rules on recession or historical recession. 2008 dropped by about 50% from top to bottom, 51, 52%. Let's even expand this just so we can get an accurate measurement. About 57%, almost 60%. So if we talk 50%, because a lot of those are wicks, you're looking at anywhere in the 2,600 range, which brings us back to COVID lows, which, again, a lot of people were talking about a melt up. Guys, your melt up was COVID. There was nothing positive that came out of COVID other than massive money printing and leverage trading. That's it. That's all that came out of COVID. And yeah, you're seeing it happen firsthand. This was your melt up, and now we're paying for it, and now we're seeing recession. Solana is down 50% last day. Yep. You and Kappa have been killing it with macro. Wasn't Kappa bullish a couple months ago? Patterns are fractals technically. Yeah, kind of. But fractals are more like this happened historically and it's going to follow it to the T kind of thing. I don't know. I'm indifferent about fractals, to be honest. I don't really like them. I mean, it's a good basis, right? Like it's never bad to not look at fractals, but the odds of them playing out, it's possible. Where do I plan on beginning to DC on Bitcoin? Buddy, I've been DCing Bitcoin for months. How much do you think accumulation period will last? 2 years? Where's the best place to buy Bitcoin? I mean, that depends on where you are in the world, what country you're in. For those of you who don't know, and we're going to talk about this when I get to Bitcoin, when I get to the crypto analysis part of this live stream, but I'm affiliated with BitGet. I'm fully, I talk to BitGet's internals, all of their internal analysis, all their head people. I have a lot of connections in BitGet. I talk to them all the time. Anytime there's something like this going in the market, I go right to them and say, are you guys going to have any issues? You need to tell me now. Like, no, I fully back BitGet if something sketchy happens, and I'm talking to them all the time. If they, like with, I'll give you an example. I used to be affiliated with Mexi. Mexi had some very sketchy bullshit that was happening, and I exited, quit my affiliation, and walked away from it. Left a lot of money on the table. I didn't even withdraw the money from the account. I left, and I told Twitter, fuck Mexi, I'm out. I'm so out, it's not even funny. I'm not bringing this to my community. I'm out. If I get any wind from BitGet, I will be out. But so far, all they've done is be honest and transparent with me and the others involved. So for me, I think the best place to buy cryptos with BitGet. They have security measures in place to reduce scam wicks, or really they have never had a giant scam wick like Binance US or Kraken. On top of that, they have a security fund. It's worth, I believe, $200 million. So basically, if something was to happen to your money, there is a fund that backs. Or if something happens to the market, there is a fund that can protect your assets. Obviously, on top of that, it's very easy to withdraw. I've never been locked out of withdrawing or locked out of trading, or there's too much volatility. You can't trade, like with Binance and FTX. And guys, I've been talking about FTX for months, and I've always said, do not use FTX, do not use KuCoin, do not use Femex. Those three exchanges do not use. Now, what is happening? FTX is going insolvent. My best guess is KuCoin is next, because neither one of these exchanges are permitted in the United States, and there is a reason for that, and that's because all of this bullshit that's happening right now, this is why exchanges are going to be heavily regulated, and it's going to be very hard for new exchanges to really promote themselves or come up in the United States, because you have to get by all of the regulatory means, which is in place to protect the citizens that use those exchanges. Dude, alts are crashing harder than Bitcoin. Like, what are you talking about? What on this list is not crashing harder than Bitcoin? Any risk on stablecoins? I try to avoid stablecoins. How do I think crypto can rebuild trust? I think there's already trust there. It just depends on the exchange you're using. You're also, all of you guys are forgetting, we are in an economic recession, and this is a risk asset. Every risk asset, every tech stock has crashed just as hard or harder than Bitcoin has. Okay, yes, this is the S&P 500. It has not crashed nearly as hard as something like Apple stock, or I don't even know how far Apple stock has crashed, but something like Lending Tree or some other stock that's crashed a ridiculous amount. You guys have to remember, there's a huge scope on crypto or a microscope on crypto and a huge scope on stocks. There are so many tech stocks that are down 80 to 90% right now, but everyone wants to talk about, oh, Bitcoin's down 80%. How can we ever trust this again? Okay, so some of these other companies that you buy products from that are, their stocks are literally crashing or going to continue crashing, but you'll still buy their products and trust them. Like, what is the difference behind that? Yes, but they pumped more than Bitcoin. Dude, they're lower. Most altcoins are much lower than Bitcoin is overall. Just a very small example. Look at Link. Link is down 90%, right? Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down 77%. Bitcoin is not down nearly as bad as alts. The only alt you can make a case for is possibly Ethereum, which I believe is still down like 80%, 77%. So it's down just as much as Bitcoin. I don't understand why everyone's confused on why alts aren't as down as much. Guys, they are. Like, come on, do some math. Yeah, alts are literally crashing much harder. Like, Bitcoin's down 14%, and many of these alts are in the 20% range. I don't understand like where this logic is coming from. But we're gonna continue moving on. I don't have time for this to keep pulling out math and being ignored. For the VIX, all of you guys know, or all of the prior viewers have know, I've talked about this. The VIX above 45. The 45 level is very consistent with bear market bottoms in the stock market, especially with COVID, the 2018 mini recession, 2008, which is over here. You're talking the 2000s as well. Some of the bull market, bottom, or not bottom, like bull market bottoms. Does that make sense? Or very small relief rallies to the downside. Some of those bottoms in the 2011, 2013, and in 2015. Some of these higher spikes can signal bottoms as well. For the most part, we know we're in a recession. We know that this value really needs to get to the 45-point level in order to even talk about a bear market bottom. On top of that, still lots of issues with the economy. Of course, consumer credit is at all-time highs, and this includes businesses as well. So what you're seeing with FTX, and those that weren't here, what you're seeing with FTX is going to happen to many businesses across America. That's because there are huge gaps in their balance sheets. There are so many companies that never made a dime, yet they're reporting millions of dollars of earnings because they're just taking loans and using leverage and expanding on top of that, and they owe tons of money. And once they go bankrupt, the bank doesn't get their money, and what happens? You're looking at either 1929 or a 2008 style crash. Yeah, what's up, Alex? Yeah, it's nice to finally have some market movement to talk about. BitGet is allowed in the United States, so BitGet, and we will get to this again on the crypto segment. BitGet was allowed in the United States. Now the SEC has cracked down on regulatory matters for crypto exchanges, and BitGet is currently working towards being fully regulated by the SEC. Now, granted, this is a process that's going to take, I believe, 8 to 9 months. So by June, July of next year, BitGet should be fully regulated and fully allowed in the United States by the SEC. This is the only exchange. Now, granted, a lot of this is going to might seem weird because, again, I'm affiliated with them. I will continue using a VPN and using BitGet. I have no doubt in BitGet. They have provided every single bit of information I needed to know that they are backed fully and my funds are safe. On top of all of the security and funding matters that they've done to protect funds, I'm fully fine with that. I've seen Binance US do scummy shit. Okay, for those of you that don't know, this is Binance US, and yes, this scam wick all the way down to 8,000 is very real. And this stopped out one of my positions. I was up $30,000. So this whole thing, this is real. So yes, you could use Binance US. Binance US is allowed in the United States. You can open up an account right now and use it. They have low fees, pretty good interface. But do you really want to risk another scam wick like this? BitGet's protocols do not allow for that type of thing to happen. But moving on, DXY doing exactly what I've said over the last several weeks. Guys, we've talked about this so many times. These stupid charts with parabolas that do this, and people say, oh, the breakdown. Like, no, this is not a breakdown. Okay, it's not. That's not a breakdown at all. We are still very much in a very bullish uptrend. Not only we have broken multi-decade resistance, we are now retesting it as support, and I said we could do this several times before continuing upwards. This would make an enormous bull flag, and you would see another massive crash among equities and any kind of asset class as the dollar continues to rise. This is perfectly fine and normal. The fact that people think that we had broke down earlier this week was a mystery to me. Have I talked about DCA levels? No. DCAing is a time thing, not a price thing. You guys should really research what a DCA is. It takes like 2 minutes, and it'll answer all your questions. I know you talked about massive drops, how usually they follow with decent relief rally before dropping to reset RSI. Is this something we can expect once we hit next support? Possibly. I don't know yet. I'm going to wait for some type of reversal signal, some type of bullish signal, even if it's just midterm. Talk about Bitcoin dominance, please. I don't talk about Bitcoin dominance anymore. There's too many stable coins. Moving on, total. Again, another thing that I had actually hit the nail on the head. I had said that it is very possible we hit the bottom of this, go up 10% before nuking through our bear flag. That is exactly what happened. I had this bear flag drawn. If you are my student, you know that we've been talking about this for weeks, and it played out exactly as planned. I said, once we break this yellow line, it's over. We visit the white line. Bitcoin will most likely be around 12K. Your altcoins will be down 90 to 99%. More than likely, market bottom between this 541 and 399 billion area, somewhere in this box. It was amazing to me that everyone got bullish last week without looking at total and saying, this looks like a bear flag, which it was. And again, amazing to me that no one saw this and was like, I should be careful being bullish here. Moving on, tether dominance. Wow. What a great prediction. We had called that this was not a double top and more or less consolidation to continue upwards. Clearly, Bitcoin has lost support. A lot of altcoins have lost massive support levels. So now our tether dominance has broken resistance. This is so bullish for tether dominance and so bearish for crypto. It's not even funny. If this candle closes the way it is, you can kiss any hope of regaining 20K or 19K goodbye for several months. I mean, this is huge. This is going to continue moving up, and obviously as tether dominance moves up, crypto moves down. Into Bitcoin. Let me get some water. Into Bitcoin. For those of you that are new, I live stream mostly Monday, Wednesday, Friday around 5 p.m. Eastern. Granted, over the last couple months, I have not live streamed as much. Primarily because I was on lots of fishing vacations and there's just nothing going on in the market. However, got volatility today. It's also getting cold outside, so I fully plan to keep that consistent schedule moving forward. Going to talk about a few things. I'll run through the TA, and then we're going to run through the economic credit bubble crap that I've been spewing on Twitter that no one believes, and they think that FTX is the reason why we're dropping. Yes, it is a partial reason, but there are other things going on that behind the scenes that people are ignoring and they're blaming instead of just seeing what's happening. So a couple things. One, we had pointed out that what we're seeing, or the trend that we were seeing, was basically a 2018. I mean, you basically have a giant bear flag, again, a giant, enormous bear flag, and it broke down. That was very expected. We had also pulled out the weekly 200 moving average. And for Bitcoin's entire lifetime, this has been a massive level of support. You can see from 2014, you can draw this back, or we can try and take an average back. Really, from 2015, 2018, 2019, COVID crash, and now here, instead of, catching it as a bottom and continuing to rise, we're actually seeing a breakdown, a retest, and further breakdown. This is extremely bearish. The structure is extremely bearish. This is trading 101. How bearish is this? 10 out of 10. A breakdown and retest, again, is one of the most bearish things that you can possibly have. And it's very trading 101. And it's quite amazing that many pro traders or whoever were calling for 30K, calling for 25K. Guys, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at all. This is why it's not going to happen. Stop watching a 15-minute chart and you'd get some of these answers. This is trading 101. This is one of the first things I teach in my trading class. Breakdowns and retests, breakouts and retests. Perfectly normal. And this was fully expected. But let's move into the daily. So a couple things. I'm going to talk about MACD, RSI. So RSI obviously getting to that oversold point. There's a good chance we'd have some consolidation before continuing lower. For those of you that don't know the levels of Bitcoin support from the OG days between really 2017 and 2021, it is 13.7, 12K, 10K, I think 8, 6, and then 3. Those are your most important levels. Here on the weekly, we'll even draw them out just so that people can see them. 13.7. 13.7, 14.1, somewhere around there. It's it's not going to be perfect. 13.7, 12,000, 10,000, right? 6,000, 6,000, and then 3,000. Those are your most important levels. If you are someone that wants to ignore what a dollar cost average is and you want to buy at a certain level, those are the levels you buy at. Okay, I don't give a shit what anyone says on Twitter. I don't care if someone says we're going to 3K. I don't care if someone says we're going to 9K. I don't give a shit about anyone's predictions. What I'm telling you here is no matter what happens, these are the important levels to watch. The only reason you would know these is if you traded back in the day. Many years, not many, 3 or 4 years ago, which I know a lot of people here might be new. Maybe you joined crypto at the height of the market. Maybe you've been here a while. Regardless, trading wise, these are the levels of importance. If we lose 13K, what's the next level we go to? 11 to 12K. If we lose 12K, what's the next level? 10K. We lose 10K, where are we going? 6K. We lose 6K, where are we going? 3K. Okay, that's what I want you guys to pay attention to. I'm not saying we're going to 3K. I didn't say we're going to 6K. My target ultimately is between 10 and 12K. I don't think we go much lower. However, if the stock market has not crashed, we're going lower. Regardless, levels to pay attention to. Getting back to the daily TA. One thing, our breakdown very much validated by volume. It was validated yesterday. You could have shorted the absolute piss out of this at 18,500. It made an absolute killing. I told my trading students yesterday in class, for those of you that watched the live video when it happened, you could definitely short this depending on day close. I believe we ended the video an hour before day close. So all you had to do was watch for an hour. You could have entered a short with a very tight stop loss. You'd be up pretty substantial today. You'd be up 14% today. Pretty huge trade. Couple things. One, I'm not really looking to short anymore. I know I'll post short orders or shorts if they're perfect, if they're there. But guys, this is an asset that's down 80%. Why on earth are you if you are bullish on an asset, right? If you're bullish on something, you think it's going to go up to let's say you think it's going to go to 100K one day. Why are you shorting? Why are you shorting? It's down 80%. I'll give you this. During the bull market of 2021, okay, in this golden box that I just drew, between 58 and 53,000 or 50K. I had friends, family, my grandparents. I had people on the street talking about Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin, how much they were going to buy, how much they were going to, invest into crypto. Okay, I was telling people to buy all down here. I was literally telling everyone I knew, start buying Bitcoin, start buying Bitcoin, start buying Bitcoin here. You know how many people bought from what I said? I even said buy Link, buy Ethereum, buy fucking Litecoin, buy everything, buy crypto. Just buy crypto. Crypto, we're going to buy a shit ton of crypto. Okay? I had said buy crypto there. You know how many people took my advice? None. None of my friends bought crypto. People made fun of me for saying to buy crypto. People thought I was an idiot. COVID crash happened. They're like, oh, your crypto investments are underwater. I bought so much crypto during COVID crash. It was crazy. I sold in the golden box. I still have the selling orders. Very willing to post them on Twitter if I must. I sold up here. Why did I sell up here? Everyone and their mother was bullish. Everyone wanted to buy at the top. Now everyone wants to short the bottom. Okay, yes, in this box, everyone wanted to short. Now we're breaking down further. But now everyone really wants to short. I've gotten so many messages today about shorting. It is unbelievable. No one wants to buy. No one's looking to buy. Everyone's terrified. Everyone's afraid to put their money on exchanges. Everyone's afraid to take a risk and buy some. I'm not saying buy right now, right? But what I'm saying is starting a dollar cost average right now instead of looking for every single fucking short opportunity you can is much a better idea. Like, you're better off dollar cost averaging, 0.5 to 1% of whatever your dollar cost average amount. Let's say you have $100, do 50 cents or $1 every week for the next 2 years. And even if Bitcoin does this, even if it goes all the way to 9K, you're buying. You're buying the way down, right? You're buying in a 50% range, right? I believe this is about 50% range. Okay, let's say your average is 12,000. Let's say you average 12,000. That's your average. 11,500, just to keep it easy. 11,500 your average. Let's say we go to 100K. Let's say we go to 130K, because I think we'll go higher than 100K. It's 11,500 to 130K. Make a 10x. You make a 10x for doing nothing instead of wasting your time going, oh, I'm going to short the asset that's down 80 fucking percent. I could have just dollar cost average, spent time with my family over the holidays, watched football, and not acted like a total idiot. Like, right? I've been spewing this. Not spewing. I've been telling people this in my Discord, in my trading class for the last 2 months. And I'm trying to be, and I'm not calling anyone an idiot. If you want to short, go ahead. I just don't want to hear it when you get liquidated on an asset that's down 80%. Okay, let me reiterate. Bitcoin's down 80%. Bear market bottoms in the past happen between 80 and 85%. Okay, so do you really want to risk that? Hi Roman, DCing is the worst strategy on the downtrend. It works well only if you're in a bull run. I hope that's sarcasm. I hope that's sarcasm because I will remove you from my live streams moving forward. That is probably the dumbest thing I've read all day. And if it is sarcasm, then haha, you're hilarious. Just like everybody else. Anyways, guys, like, the shorting opportunities are far and few in between now. The stock market is more than likely going to crash soon. Bitcoin's crashing now. Bitcoin crashed much before the stock market even began crashing. So ultimately, guys, your short opportunities are far and few in between. Let's say the bottom is anywhere between 10 and 6K. The maximum amount you can make at this point, we'll go 8,000. This is a 46% gain. Okay? To the upside, if you're bullish, you make a 10x. So do you really want to short knowing that you could make make 45%, you could get, make huge gains. But if you're someone that wants your life changed, if you're someone that is an investor, because 99% of people fail at trading, right? 90 to 99% of people fail. That's just how it is. So for all 200 of you that are in here, 196 of you are failing. Okay, it's not It's not a shot at you. Maybe 196 of you are succeeding because you follow my, my advice on Twitter. Maybe you've taken my trading classes, maybe whatever. But out of 100 people, 90 to 98 or 99 are failing. Okay, so for me, and that's a bunch of things. One, people get impatient. You just don't have enough time to trade. You don't have enough time to watch charts. You just haven't had enough experience. There's a lot of factors. But aside from that, if you want the easiest life-changing opportunity of your life, right? Dollar cost average now. Dollar cost average later this week, even if it's next week, even if it's next month. Do it over a 2-year time period, and in 2 years, just send me a postcard from wherever you're coming from. I'm sorry, bro. That wasn't a sarcasm. I'm your follower on Twitter and friend in Discord, and you know my respect. Zero sarcasm there. So you're actually serious? You think it's a terrible time to dollar cost average on the way down? That's crazy, dude. I'm not going to call you out, but if you think it's a bad idea to dollar cost average, okay, let me give it to you this way. S&P, because S&P has much more history. Let's say this is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, say this is Bitcoin, all right? Let's say the Bitcoin crash is 2008. Bitcoin crashes 80% here. Let's say, 60, but we'll say it's 80, whatever, 90, whatever. Okay, let's say you start dollar cost averaging at 954 points, and you're basically buying all the way, like you're buying this whole box. This is from August 2008 until about November 2009. So you're about a year time period at this bottom. Okay, you have a full DCA here. Let's find the average. Say you average around 834, just eyeballing it. So 834 is your average. Okay. Let's see how much money you would have made. You would have made a 5x. Now, granted, this is a stock market. Things are slower. But the average return in the stock market year to year is 10%. Right? I mean, if you're an investor, especially if you sold maybe near the top here and then reinvested down here, yeah, I don't know why that'd be a bad idea. I don't understand how you can possibly say that. Guys, you dollar cost average on the way down and you sell on the way up. And anyone who's giving you different advice is a total jackass. BitGet does not support U.S. customers yet. You can use a VPN. So for all of you that don't know this, a lot of crypto exchanges in the United States are not going to be able to be used anymore. Aside from like Kraken, Binance US, and Coinbase. And the reason for that being is the SEC is opening new regulatory measures for exchanges. So now all of these exchanges that were once able to use or be used are essentially, they have to get re-regulated, or they have to pass regulation in order to be viable in the United States. So BitGet has started that process already. I have full confirmation that process has started. I talked to BitGet's internal team. I've seen the process. I've seen the documents. I used to work for a hedge fund. I know how this shit works. I talk to the team every day about this. And I've asked, let me know a week in advance when that is sent and when it's passed and everything, and everyone will know. So if you, whether it's BitGet or whatever exchange you're using, if you're in the United States, if it's not an SEC compliant exchange, you will not be able to use it after December 31st. So in order to combat that, you have to use a VPN. So if you would like to use BitGet, which I fully back BitGet for many different reasons. I've posted about it all the time. You can go back and read it on Twitter. Aside from that, if you want to use BitGet or if you want to use KuCoin, which please don't use KuCoin. It's the same thing that happened to FTX is going to happen to KuCoin. But anyways, if you're using another exchange and you can't in the United States, you're going to have to use a VPN. And, I'm not going to promote other exchanges in here because I don't use them and I don't know everything about them. Again, for those of you guys that don't know, I used to be affiliated with Mexi. I left Mexi because they started doing scummy shit. And also they pump and dump coins. Their founder literally told me he will let me know in advance when he's going to pump and dump a coin. Okay, so stay away from Mexi. It is literally the biggest waste of my time in the world. And that's why I left. And I openly said, I'm sorry for promoting a shitty service. But I've always told you guys I'm only going to promote products and services that I full-heartedly believe Well, one, I full-heartedly believe in and trust. And I do trust BitGet. I talk to them all the time. Anytime there has ever been an issue, they respond to me immediately, and I try to tell the Discord and I try to tell Twitter what's going on. I mean, you can invest in anything worldwide. You just have to pay taxes on it if you show income. Like, you could literally buy European cars, and if you make money off that, you still pay taxes in the United States if you live here. Just so you know. Yeah, and Martin, that's a good point. Like, there are so many exchanges that really are decent, really reliable, but because, and this is good, guys, it is good that the SEC is regulating crypto exchanges, because what's happening with FTX will not happen moving forward. And the same thing with 3AC and Luna. None of that's going to happen anymore if the SEC regulates crypto exchanges, right? So my biggest piece of advice is, maybe keep BitGet on your radar if you're interested. I love their interface. I love their team. They have security measures in place to keep your funds safe. They have a $200 million fund ready and able to deploy if something happens to your funds. What do I think about CPI? I think they're just going to lie to us again, like they always do. KuCoin, just, I don't like it. I've read about KuCoin. I don't like them. I don't like exchanges that don't even that aren't regulated at all, and the first thing they do is ask you to do no KYC. Thoughts on the housing market? I'm waiting for a crash so I can buy a house in Miami, Florida. My common sense is actually very rare on this platform. I appreciate it. Okay, we've talked about TA. Guys, I don't need to explain anymore that we're breaking down and we're not even close to support. Okay, we're still 20% from support. Wanted to talk about this. So a couple weeks ago, I had talked about the credit bubble and what is happening with interest rates. Why interest rates hiking up is obviously bearish. Just wanted to touch up on a couple of things. So we have FTX, right? FTX is a crypto exchange, and they cooked their books. So cooked books. They cooked their books, right? And it's getting a lot of attention because obviously, it's crypto. Everyone, anyone that doesn't understand crypto hates crypto, and they think it's a scam and all this other bullshit. So FTX out of the picture, just like 3AC. So we have 3AC, FTX, and so on and so forth. There will probably be another one. We'll see other altcoins go to shit. I want to reiterate this. So this is crypto, right? This is in the crypto universe. Okay, what about stocks? So we have several stock companies that, one, are doing the same thing as FTX, same thing as 3AC, have over-leveraged, cooked their books, owe a lot of money to banks, owe a lot of money to the government, have taken advantage of probably some of the COVID relief money and probably owe money back, or they just took the money and still owe loans and they're not paying it back. So we're just going to put many because the list is too long. So although crypto's getting the attention, and maybe it's not even getting that much attention, but the same exact thing is happening in stocks. And why? So why is this happening? I need to make this a little smaller. So why is this happening? So guys, so why is this happening to both? So essentially you have interest rates being hiked, and interest rates hiking really means that companies can't expand. Why can't companies expand? So if you don't know this, our business structure is companies go out, get loans, or they borrow money, and they expand on that money. They hire new people. They innovate more. They go and research more. There's never really a situation where a company just funds itself. It's actually funded by either hedge funds or angel investors or whatever. On top of that, new businesses can't come into play. That, again, more people not being hired, better jobs not being in place. So basically the economy, it has two options. Economy either goes up or down, at least in this standpoint. It either goes down or sideways. So why do we believe it's going to go down? So inflation on a rampant rise. Everything is almost twice as expensive as it was last year. Gas, food, electric, any living expenses at least. I wouldn't say like cars and even houses, like super overpriced. Houses are still like double the value like I would pay for. So on top of that, you have inflation rampantly rising. And then on top of that, you have this credit bubble or credit issue. Everything in America is financed. You can literally finance your toothbrush. You can finance Windows. You can finance a PS4 controller. Like, it's crazy how much you can finance and when. And what does that lead to? That leads to bankruptcy. Because when people are in a ton of debt and they can't pay it back, they go bankrupt. Think about one person you know that just swipes their credit card every time, or that struggling family doesn't have money, so they just have to use a credit card to get by. What happens when the bank says, hey, Steve, you owe me money. I need that money back by this date, right? Or whatever. And they don't pay it back. Now put it on a multitude scale of millions and millions and tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people. What happens? Or what do you guys think happens? Because it happened in 1929. It's called the Great Depression. We literally had people spending money they didn't have or didn't earn. Everything was essentially credit. On top of that, which I don't know if this was an issue in 1929, but many companies are over leveraged. Many companies are cooking their books. They're reporting earnings that aren't there. They're not paying back loans that they've taken out for expansion. So now you have all of these companies that are going to get cleared. So one positive thing I can say about this is it's going to clean a lot of the shit in the economy, especially the crypto space. FTX will be gone. 3AC is gone. Some of these other shitty scam exchanges will be gone, and this is good for crypto. Everything will be regulated. We will learn moving forward, and Bitcoin will have a chance to grow and rise once again. Yeah, I know they won't pursue the accusation. That was obvious. So that was my economic explanation. We've gone through all the TA. I really just wanted to highlight a couple of those things. If you're late to the stream, I suggest going back. The videos will be posted on YouTube after. Couple other things. So I'm going to try and stream Friday. It all depends on if I'm going fishing, which I'm pretty sure it's raining, so I'm not going to be able to go anyway. So yes, I probably will be streaming Friday. However, guys, I want you, no matter what exchange you're using, please do research. Figure out what they're backed by. Figure out what their books are like. Figure out if they're doing any scummy shit, because it's all public. It's all there. If you're hearing people say, hey, this exchange seems kind of sketchy, maybe it's time to move your money off them. Maybe it's time to move forward and look for a different exchange, because there are many other exchanges out there that are probably twice as better, like twice as good. On top of that, my trading class, we're on week 10. If you are interested in learning how to trade, if you're interested in learning my system, how to properly manage your money, how to learn risk management, how to properly trade, both up and down movement, we're on week 10. You can sign up on Patreon. I believe there's a link in the description, and there's a link in one of these bots. And you can watch the first 9 weeks whenever you want. It's all posted there. If you wanted to watch 10, like you pay for this month and you watch all 10 weeks and then you leave, you can do that. It's literally all there. It's all posted. On top of that, we have a free Discord. Please join. We discuss all of this daily. And on top of that, I believe 20 of my analysts are still pretty active. So they'll answer your questions. There's a lot of discussion. A lot of productive discussion, too. However, with the bear market, it's gotten a little quieter. With all that said, guys, that's all I have for today. Like I said, I'll try and live stream Friday. We will see. I'm pretty sure it's raining, so we will see. With all that said, be patient, use risk management, and good luck trading.